Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. I've got my Our Lady of Guadalupe mug today because I'm very happy to be back at Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I just got home last night. We're shooting this on Monday afternoon, so I got home last night from France. Most of you know I was there. I was doing some teaching in Rome at a university there, and then I flew to Toulouse to be part of a large conference that was actually really amazing. So we were in Toulouse. This conference was called Congrès Mission, and it took place in 9 cities across France. A total of 17,000 bishops, priests, and lay leaders registered at the location in Toulouse. There were 2,000 people, and it was an incredible experience. And by the way, I was staying at the local seminary in Toulouse, and I found out that I was sharing my room with unexpected guest, something local. The locals called a mosquito tigre, tiger mosquito. And so if you see me scratching during this video take, that's why I got a bite right in my ear. Anyway, you don't need to know this, but just in case you see me scratching, that's what it is, tiger mosquitoes. But my experience in Toulouse was incredibly uplifting. You know, the French church has its own challenges, many of which perhaps you've seen in the news today. A devastating report which was commissioned by the leadership of the church in France around the topic that so many nations have had to face. That is the gross betrayal of trust and lack of response over sexual abuse. And so the French church right now are going through a terrible reckoning right now, realizing that almost 3% of their clergy were guilty of this kind of abuse since 1950. So please pray for them. It's like any time of difficulty in this. It's if there's cancer, it's better that the cancer is identified and treated and brought out than it continues to be hidden. So that document was released today, actually, and I left there yesterday, and I left there with a real sense of hope. You know, one of the highlights of the experience was the celebration of the Eucharist at the conference in Toulouse. The Sunday Eucharist, we got there, we had lunch and then went back to the conference, and at 2 o'clock they started to sing music, you know, praising God and singing to God, and then there was about 45 minutes of prayer. 2,000 people packed into this 12th century cathedral, this really old cathedral. It was marvelous, and then there were testimonies from all the different locations. And then after an hour and a half of this, Mass began, and Mass was a total of 2 hours and 25 minutes. 2 hours, I kid you not. And it was one of the most remarkable celebrations of the Eucharist I've ever experienced. You know, people were crammed in, like some sitting on the floors, standing. Just this sense of anticipation and joy, and that no one was looking at their watches, no one was jingling car keys. It was like everyone wanted to be there. The singing shook the building, the harmonies, everyone singing. It was such a symphony of praise, and there were moments in that liturgy of joy, of levity, of profound reverence, you know, incense, lots of incense going up in that big building. And during communion time, I have to share with you, I had a very beautiful experience giving out Holy Communion. Just seeing everyone coming to receive communion, you know, the old, the young, the rich, the poor, the people who are handicapped, healthy people, approaching the Eucharist with deep awe and reverence. I tell you, I was actually moved to tears, which it doesn't happen to me very often, and it's never happened to me while giving out communion. It's very hard to say le corps de Christ when you're trying to hold back tears. I was just overwhelmed with the sense of what it means to be the family of God, to celebrate the Eucharist, to be united in even as a big family, 2,000 people, that it is possible to experience this great sense of intimacy and community, and that even while giving out Holy Communion, while people were singing and praising, that it really did feel like Jesus was there. I know that's what we believe, but it really felt like that Jesus was walking in our midst and ministering to people. And the other thing that struck me is in that place was that in spite of the struggles in the French church and how much they've shrunk, it's actually a very, very strong church. There was the amount of young priests, young religious, young sisters, young married couples, young people. It's a small church, but it's strong, it's dynamic. They have struggles with their structure, just like we do. They have problems that we don't have. They have solutions that we don't have. But it was very uplifting for me to see what's on the other side of a time of decline and trial and potentially restructuring like we're going through. So I came home with a great sense of hope, and that no matter what struggles we go through as a church, our failures or weaknesses, that the Lord is alive and He's still doing new things, working powerfully in people's lives. So with that in mind, here we are back at Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I'm looking down at my iPhone. I've got my cheat sheets on my iPhone here, because one of the first things that we have to deal with is the fact that as of yesterday, October 4th, we had new rules with regard to COVID. We moved into phase 5. So we received directives from the diocese. We have a little bit of update for you as to what to expect. So no more pre-registration, obviously. We did away with that a while ago. But no registration as you enter the church. Now, we still need people to enter from the front location, so we still have to control entrance into the church, because you still need to be sanitized as you enter. We are asking that everyone continues to wear their masks in church. Now, this is actually an archdiocesan policy, so we're asking that you continue to wear masks. I know it's unpleasant. I know we're looking forward to being free of this, but we want to do this gradually to be careful. We are going to no longer have the pews marked off. In most of our church, we don't have a size capacity anymore, and people are free to sit where they want, except for this. We are going to designate the 2 blocks of pews on either side of the presider's chair as places where social distancing will be observed, just in case there's anyone who's particularly concerned or worried or particularly vulnerable. Okay. The other thing is we won't have the cleaning. We won't have to do the cleaning after Mass. In time, we will be able to have more than 2 communion lines. Whether we can get that organized in time for this weekend, you'll have to show up and see. And we will continue to do the hand sanitizer during communion. Face masks will still be done. And still, for now, we won't be having communion under both kinds. So I hope that helps you as we continue to grow. You know, this weekend we hit a new high. We had 486 people this weekend at Mass, which is amazing. It keeps going up, it keeps going up. Dear friends, let's continue to spread the word that we're open for business and we're going forward. This weekend, obviously, if you've been watching these videos, you know that Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish is receiving its first visit from our Chief Shepherd here in the Archdiocese of Halifax-Yarmouth. Archbishop Dunn is finally able to get out and visit the parishes. I know he loves doing that. It's one thing he loves to do, is to go out and visit. So he will be in our midst for the Sunday morning Mass 9 a.m. and the Sunday 11 a.m. Mass. And he's coming, it's his first visit to our parish, but he's coming to formally announce the opening of a time of discernment and consultation around the question of the closure of Immaculate Conception in St. Paul's Church. And so it's a bittersweet thing. He will be available after Mass to informally connect with parishioners, and there's going to be a special meeting of the parish leadership groups, the Pastoral Council, Finance Council, leadership team and staff, and the different working committees are going to meet with the Archbishop after the 12:15 Mass, so please keep that in your prayers. And let's come out to welcome him. We will have the Saturday Mass. I'll be presiding and preaching some kind of homily there. But the Archbishop is preaching on Sunday morning, and on Sunday night we will not be having a Sunday night Mass because it's Thanksgiving weekend. And in the past, I don't even think we could compare the numbers with what happened at the Last Supper, you know, Jesus and 12 others. So attendance was pretty low in the past. So that's why we're not going to do that. So that's for this weekend. Apropos to the question of the consultation process and closure, where the listening committee is going ahead with the plans for the listening sessions that we're planning for October 19th and 21st. October 19th focusing on the question of Immaculate Conception Church, the 21st, focusing on the closure of St. Paul's. I had previously announced that we were going to have these meetings at St. Anthony's Church, and I want to give you the two reasons why we initially decided that. Number one, we didn't want it to be St. Peter's centric. So it's very easy to do everything at St. Peter's location because it's the biggest location, and we decided let's make an effort not to do that. The second reason is that was a decision not to have it at St. Paul's, because we thought if we have the meeting at St. Paul's, it makes it sound like this meeting is just for parishioners who have a history at St. Paul's, and it's not. This meeting is for all parishioners. And so that's why we decided on St. Anthony's. Now, since then, a few concerns have been brought to light. Number one is our need to record the conversation. Secondly, the question of what about people who are unable to make it to come out at night? And the third question that has recently arisen is the fact that any church gathering outside of Sunday Mass is only open to those who can show proof of double vaccination. So for that reason, there may be people who would be excluded from attending. And so with all that in mind, we decided at the leadership team meeting that the best decision, the best imperfect decision we could make is to actually, in fact, have the meeting here at St. Peter's location, because we have the in-house camera system. We have the ability to welcome people in person and also welcome people on Zoom and have them interact and ask questions and make comments on Zoom as well. So that is the reason for that decision of having both of those meetings here at the St. Peter's location. So we will be giving you more information about that gathering in the coming week or so. It's going to be upon us sooner than we think, so please continue to keep that in your prayers. Reminder that also October 30th is the 100th anniversary Mass at Immaculate Conception Church. Planning for that is going on as right now. So anyone with a history with Immaculate Conception, indeed anyone who celebrates, anyone in the parish, please come and help us to celebrate that Mass in a special way. Finally, it's Thanksgiving weekend this weekend. It's a special week for me because on, October 7th, 1982, my family arrived from Scotland. So I always think it was that was Thanksgiving weekend. So I always remember Thanksgiving weekend arriving in Nova Scotia. But this weekend, we are also collecting for the St. Vincent de Paul food drive for Thanksgiving. So that's why the reason why I'm sitting here. See behind me, these doors behind me, that is the drop-off point for lots of food. We've got many wonderful parishioners who every single week either bring food on Sunday morning and drop it off at the entrance to the church, or they bring the food to the door here. And inside those doors, just to the left, is a little mini food bank that's been run by the St. Vincent de Paul group here at St. Peter's location for many years. They actually take food to people's homes. And so there is one main St. Vincent de Paul collection for items for the coming Christmas season. So it's a time of great need, obviously. So putting this appeal out, if you can bring some groceries, there is on our website a list of the non-perishable food items that are most desirable. So please check out our website and bring along some non-perishable gifts for the poor. And with that, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who helps with the two food banks that we have now at our parish. The one locally here at the St. Peter's location, which many of you have been supporting generously for years, and the new partnership we have at the Dartmouth North Christian Food Bank at the St. Anthony's location. And we've got a growing number of parishioners participating and supporting that food bank as well. These are, I would hope we don't see these things as two different things. We see this as one initiative in two different locations. So thank you for everything. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you're faithfully following these videos, if you want to continue to watch them. We're almost at 700 subscribers. Who knows, maybe in the coming week we'll bump over the line. So folks, thanks so much. It's great to be back. As wonderful as Rome and Toulouse was, well, I left my shoes in Toulouse because I wore holes in them, but I was glad only to leave my shoes there. I'm glad, as wonderful as it was, I'm glad to be back in Dartmouth and at Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish. God bless.